How did you feel about maths?
I found it boring. I found it quite, boring and kind of bland.
I think I find maths boring because I don't know, just because of numbers, and I don't find it that interesting with numbers.
I think a lot of girls don't like maths, but I'm not sure why. But boys seem to like maths more than girls do and seem to understand it more.
I'm Shirley Conran and I write self-help books. My latest book, Money Stuff for Girls, is aimed at girls of 13. It's a teach yourself math book. Why girls of 13? Because girls are ahead of boys at maths until puberty, and then there is a sudden dip in the girls' performance and the boys just saunter on ahead and the girls never catch up.
Girls sort of grow up developing this idea that actually it's not really that cool to like maths, so I don't need to enjoy maths. It's not going to be relevant to me in my later life. And they often can't see how it could be so helpful to them.
At times I think I hate it because I don't see, in stuff like algebra, I don't see the point how it applies to real life.
Girls are much more people who approach any kind of work in an emotional way. They are not so keen to take risks.
Boys?
Not as keen as boys to take risks, no. So if you throw a mathematical problem at them, rather than sort of have a go at it and see if they can work their way through, explore what happens, investigate, they're much more quick to say, I don't get it, can you help me please, miss?
I sometimes seem to switch off when I don't understand something, because if I find I don't understand it, so I just think if I can't do it then I just sort of give up.
Girls particularly are very poor at things like tables and fractions and very basic number skills, and we would often question whether they have had enough sort of going over and over, almost rote learning back in primary school.
I got involved with Shirley Conran for Money Stuff for Girls by her looking for a maths tutor.
Why I needed a maths coach as apart from a maths teacher was because I wanted to know where the gaps were. And time again, she was actually working at the coalface up to GCSE level, and she coached girls and boys.
Shirley and I together write the maths contents of the book, which is most of the book, but we spend a lot of time going over the maths. Shirley Conran is there to make sure it's clearly explained and that it's understandable. I'm there to make sure that the maths is right.
And time again, she would say to me, you must get this in. And I would say, but that's so basic. Surely everybody knows that. And she says, no, they don't. They fall at the fence on this at GCSE level time and time again. The 13-year-olds to 17-year-olds who tested our pilot programme on the maths course almost all thought maths was a bore and a chore, and some of them actually hated maths. They lacked confidence, they did not feel motivated, and they thought they could say goodbye to maths on the day they left school.
Earlier on you were talking to me about maths and your people's comments about how they feel about maths. We want to make sure that your attitude to our maths is different. So first of all, I'd like you to think about something nothing to do with maths. Who can tell me of a time when they felt really confident about something? Yes?
The graphics work.
Your graphics work. You feel really proud when you get that right.
I like it when I complete the work on deadlines and I get good marks back.
Get a good mark back. Anyone ever got a good mark in anything? Ever got a good mark? Yes, ever got. Don't you feel good when you get a good mark?
I normally run corporate training courses and work as a life coach, but many years ago I used to teach, so I'm particularly interested in this project. So I'm really looking for the behaviour change so that the girls hopefully have a different attitude about themselves and the maths, and putting both those things together, hopefully it really will make a difference.
I've been working with Shirley Conran on Money Stuff for Girls as her project coordinator. I'm also a training instructor, so I've been helping out with the training for the pilot courses at the Langley Park School for Girls.
In the first session of the first pilot, we found out that 13 and 14-year-old girls did not know their tables, and 22 out of 23 this is. And so I was shocked. And I reported this to the head teacher, and she laughed and said, well, they all use calculators. And I said, have you ever watched Dragon's Den? Yes, she said, a bit mystified. And I said, have you noticed that none of the dragons ever use a calculator? They have a little pad and a pencil, and their calculator is up here.
Today's 9 nines. 9 nines are 81. Can I hear it very softly, please? 9 nines are 81. Louder. 9 nines are 81. 9 nines are 81. 9 nines are 81.
I think the most difficult bit of maths is right at the beginning. If you didn't teach them those initial building blocks, then for the next 4 years at least, those girls were going to be wasting their time in maths classes. So no wonder they were bored and fed up. And that is why a lot of them simply hate maths in a rather positive way.
All right, so we're going to do the same situation as last week. We'll do the card game in teams, and then you will practice your nines and be tested for your nines.
Right, ready, steady, go!
Next one, 9 ones.
9 ones.
9. When they were first asked whether they wanted to take part in the project, but it would have to be between 1:30 and 3:30, and they were thinking, well, that means they've got to stay past the end of the day, and they were not very happy with that. But after the first session, it was great. I don't care that it finishes at 3:30. I can't wait for next week. I think in the case of your project, I think they've liked the fact that they have had some impact, some influence. The fact that they are owning the project and helping you with it, that's also given them a sense of self-esteem and an enjoyment in maths.
Doing the Money Stuff for Girls booklets, I've seen how maths applies to real life, so it's made me more interested in it because I can see what the point of maths is now.
I had never had confidence in maths, but now I like it. I like going to maths, which is like really good. I've got more confidence now and can put my hand up and not worry if the question's wrong, but if it's right, then I'm happy.
I chose to come on this maths course because I wanted to boost my maths confidence. Once I get into it and I understand things, I find it more exciting because I feel good about myself because I know how to do it.
But your help really did help me because I did move up in a higher level. I moved up 2 levels because I was a level 4 and I ended up being a high 6. When I leave school, I would like to be a barrister. I would love to go into law, so that would actually help me because see how many clients I've got and all that. So yeah, I'm going into law, so the maths I think will put me even further.